Hey everyone, welcome to Pickleball and Beyond. My name's Ryan.
My name is Vino.
And today we are looking at some paddles from Synergy. Today we're looking at the Explorer, Blast, and Supreme, and we also have their Pro bag for us today. So let's hear your initial thoughts on the Synergy lineup.
I mean, really interesting lineup. They're coming up with some really good paddles, getting traction, getting a name for themselves.
Yes.
A variety of paddles, and even the bag. I mean,
it is
solid.
Really high quality.
Definitely, yes. I mean, Stephanie actually carries her gear in it because it's that very high quality, premium, very hardy. So we'll do a review on this shortly, but let's concentrate on the paddles, right? So the Explore and the Blast, carbon fiber paddles. This is a Kevlar paddle. And a variety of sizes. We'll put the descriptions below. 14 millimeter, 16 millimeter, and 13 millimeter.
Yes.
These two are the aero shape. That is kind of your elongated shape.
Yep.
Overall, how did you feel the paddles were? I mean, quality-wise, I was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
But how did they play?
Yeah, they definitely, I would say they all kind of played to their thickness in a way. This being the only Kevlar one, I think it gave it just a little bit less dwell, but that also could be due to, it's again, the 13 millimeter one. So I think that gave it a little extra pop to speak of compared to the other two.
As far as control goes, all three had good control. Even the 13, we were surprised, like, you know, how maneuverable, how much control you had. But this 16 millimeter was like a league on its own.
Yeah,
it stood off as like a super soft control paddle.
It was very soft. I mean, now you have such a wide range of 16 millimeter paddles, but let's just do one paddle at a time.
Yes,
let's go with the Explorer, right? So definitely a control paddle, right? And like I was saying, there's so many 16 millimeter paddles out there. Just to name like a super common one, right? We have another carbon fiber being like your double black diamond.
The J2 from Honolulu.
J2, yes. And compared to all of those, this is way softer, right? But then the trade-off is obviously not nearly as much power as those paddles, but if you're looking for this paddle shape with something that's super duper soft and it really catches the ball well at the kitchen line, I love putting backspin on it and hitting resets especially. This is a good option.
Yep. Let's jump to the Blast. What are your thoughts on the Blast?
So out of the bunch, the Blast was my favorite because I thought, again, it definitely was a couple notches less power than the Supreme here, but I thought it retained quite a bit of control, right? It was certainly the middle ground between the three paddles we're looking at. And to me, the maneuverability on the Supreme was, again, the best, but this was still pretty close. So for that reason, it felt like this was that middle of the road. I certainly preferred it just a little more than the others. And again, played like a nice all-around paddle.
And a 14 millimeter.
Yes.
I mean, it all three played to their thickness, and it played very much like a 14 millimeter. Even like the grip and everything on all of these paddles was very nice, very soft, very absorbing. So yeah, I enjoyed this one.
Even though it's a 14 millimeter, I still think it's an all-around paddle.
Exactly.
Yes.
Let's go to the last one.
Going to the Supreme, as they have written on it, 13 millimeter power, I gotta say it's a power paddle, right? It certainly comes off hotter, and like I said at the start of the video, I think part of that is that Kevlar surface, but it's also the thickness as well. And at the kitchen line, I know you were talking about, it still retains some of that control, but a lot of that does fall off when you're trying to hit some resets or some drops on some really fast coming balls. But again, that's obviously the trade-off when you're using a 13 millimeter power.
So one thing to mention is, like, especially with this shape, you're going to always find the swing weight to be a little bit higher. It was 118 when we measured, but it felt very maneuverable.
It felt more maneuverable than that.
Compared to like the other, you know, this kind of a shape. Still retaining that, you know, control and that feel to it. The spin was pretty nice. I did like the spin on both of these. Like they really spun, it gave you good spin. So overall, very nice paddles. I think these are those paddles that you have to try on your hand. Get what I mean? So if you want to try it, please reach out to us.
Make sure to use our discount code for an even further discount on these paddles from Synergy. So to wrap things up, it was super cool to see, right? We have a control paddle all around and a power. So good diversity in this lineup. And obviously, depending upon what you're looking for, I don't think any of these are bad options.
Yes. Please subscribe, please comment. We love hearing from you. Hope to see another paddle review.
As promised, we brought in Amy with us, who we were trying out the Synergy paddles with. And again, a big variety of thicknesses. Out of these three, which was your favorite and why was that?
I want to say this 16 millimeter was my favorite.
The Explorer.
Yeah, yes. I really like the weight of it. I tend to get sore in my forearm if I'm playing with anything too heavy, and this feels really, like right away when I picked it up, I was like, yeah, this feels like something I would want to play with. Not too heavy. I liked the touch, the control.
Yeah, certainly the most control out of all three by a lot.
I could tell right away, and then also had some power too.